Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, comic book fan. Can you believe it? 2018 is over, and there were so many great comics that came out that year. This video is all about the top 18 comic book covers of 2018. There's so many to choose from. Now, spoiler alert, there's gonna be more than 18 comics in this list. I just couldn't pick one, so I broke my own rules. They're more like in 18 categories of covers, number one. And number two, you may or may not agree with these. That's totally fine. Please make your own video, put it in the links, tell me about it, and I'll still be right. Let's get started. We've got a variety of Teen Titans covers. These are the variant covers. These are the covers that feature the characters in a more realistic style. I really liked this style to these covers. I picked up a few of them. That's 21, that's 22, featuring Crush, Lobo's daughter, Jin, the new character and such. Then they kind of changed up a little bit over here. Here's 24 with a more full-bodied, focused style. And then lastly, as of this video, 25, again featuring Crush. I love these series of covers, these variant covers from Teen Titans. So this makes the list number 18. Next, we've got a variety of Art Germ covers from the Catwoman series. So Stanley Art Germ Lau made these variety of realistic Catwoman covers for her new series. There's number 1. Here's number 2. Slightly different style than he usually does, but you can still see it in the face. And then to wrap up the year, we had a Catwoman Christmas special. Oh no, Santa! So these Art Germ covers, hard to believe that he started off as an independent artist on DeviantArt, and then now he's doing covers for some of the biggest characters ever. Next, we've got a variety of Tank Girl covers, specifically the Greg Staples covers. His style is again so cool. You might be seeing a motif going on about realism, but no, there'll be other kinds of great covers. So just senseless things, so much detail and realism. Look at Booga, he's got so much attitude, and Tank Girl too. On the more recent series, Tank Girl Action Alley, we've again got like the realism, the gross aspect of things, the detail. Look at her eyebrow stubble. I love this. This is just so detailed and cool. Vaguely Simon Bisley-esque. Now, I also like the regular artist, Brett Parson. His style is also very cool, very cartoony. I like that style too. But for the moment, I'm picking Greg Staples style Tank Girl. Next, I've got the Unnatural covers. These are from Mirka Andolfo. Her Italian comic has come to the US. It's getting a lot of buzz. She's got like a really cute, cartoony, but detailed style in her furry comic. She does all the regular covers, and then there are alternate covers. But I like her style a lot. It's detailed, it's colorful, it's dramatic. Oh, poor little pig girl. The wolf of her dreams might be of her nightmares. So I have the others also, but I couldn't pull them in time for the video, but you get the idea. Natural covers. Next up, I've got the cosplay covers of Dynamite. So Dynamite has hired a variety of cosplayers to bring their characters to life. Here's Red Sonja, number 16, number 19, in a variety of locales. Then the latest one, number 24, really epic sword. Great detail in the costume. And they're also doing it for some of their other properties. Here's the Vampirella Deja Torres comic. So this one had this cosplayer and this cosplayer bringing each of the costumes to life. So a lot of detail goes into the costume, whatever little there is of it. and it really kind of brings the characters to life. So the Dynamite cosplay covers. Next, Beasts of Burden. You probably, this one probably flew under the radar for you, but this is a great story about psychic dogs with special powers and evil creatures coming to destroy humanity. This is from Dark Horse. I'll put it in the video, the artist on this one, but this is not the regular artist. Regular artist is Dewey, but I love this cover. It's like painterly. It's got like a great sense of giving each of the dogs a life and a personality. This one is by Jill Thompson, who worked originally with Dorkin to make the first volumes of this. And again, I just love, like, this is a great composition. Look, you never see so much empty white space on a cover like this, where everything kind of blends into it. Really nice. Number 3, this is by Dewey, I believe, the artist of the book. So yes, the interiors are like this style. Oftentimes you get a great cover, but then the interiors don't reflect it. And the last issue of the series is by Jill Thompson again, I believe. And just a great series, great art and story. Next, we've got the Marvel Legacy covers. These are covers that focused on a character that used to have a comic book, and then they brought it back for one more issue. Here's Silver Sable and the Wild Pack number 36. This book hasn't been published in over 20 years. So we have Silver Sable. We've got Not Brand Ech number 14. That book hasn't been published in like 40 years. Number 14, Forbush Man. Awesome. And Darkhawk number 51. That one ended at issue 50 back in the 90s, and it came back for one last hurrah. And they all have this style. And on the back, well, I can't show you the back, but on the back it's got the stats for every character, their origin, and cool information about them. So these legacy covers, pretty cool. Ooh, I love this so much. This is the latest Aliens series. Beautiful tones here. I believe the artist here is De Anda. And just look at the detail of the xenomorphs, musculature, and this sort of framing element that focuses on the xenomorph, and these beautiful colors, the blues and these greens and purples, and just a stark graphic design. Issue 2 is like that too. I can't tell which of these two I like better, but again, this like circular framing device, a beautiful profile of this horrible killer, and interestingly here, just a little bit of graphic design. I have a degree in graphic design. Look at how this background arm doesn't stand out the same as the others, and even some of these to give it a sense of depth, a little bit of perspective. Monochromatic, just beautiful. And then all of this detail. Can you see the detail like in the mouth and the claws in the rib cage? And over here even better, you see here the translucent part of the xenomorph. This is just amazing. Next, I picked some Rick and Morty covers that were a little bit different. So this beautiful, again, just a lot of detail. You might be seeing my biases in my list, but just a lot of detail. Here's Rick as part of the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons & Dragons series, battling, what is that, a Beyonder, Beholder, what are those things called? And just like really cool, kind of dreamy fantasy version of things. But I also liked the stats sheet, or the character sheet variant, where you can see each of the characters' Dungeons & Dragons persona. I also got the one here from Beth, so that's really fun. Now you too can be Lion Amaranthia. So take your pick. Next up, here's my guilty pleasure pick. So I grew up in the 90s, and that was like the height of the gimmick cover. I love those things. They might have contributed to the fall of comic civilization in the 90s, but I love them. And they might be back. because here we've got these beautiful foil covers from DC. Here's Detective Comics 990, and these look way better in person, but this is a shiny foil cover, and it's just amazing. This is Detective Comics. I also got Catwoman. I think I like this one better than the Batman one, and it's got great textures. Silver foil. Harley Quinn with a red foil. This red foil also looks really nice in person. And then Harley's art is also really good. Batman Beyond, number 25. Again, you're getting blinded in the video, sorry about that, but if you look at these in real life, they really look amazing once they catch the light. Look, you can even see these textures in the building. And I think my favorite one is the Batgirl 28. Just beautiful gold, mimicking her outfit. These are amazing. I love these. These are like wall books. So good. The DC foil covers. Alright, something a little bit different than expected. I'm going with Usagi Yojimbo The Hidden. This is a miniseries, 7 issues from DC Comics. So Usagi Yojimbo has a special place in my heart. Creator-owned, kind of independent comic book that's been published for over 30 years. Stan Sakai created this character in 1984, and it's still going on, still going strong. It's like at 160-something issues, published at a variety of companies. Fantagraphics, Mirage, Dark Horse, Latest Home. And I like these covers, again, for their graphic design element. They're all consistent, so there's number 1. They've all got a bunch of action going on. This top element, Usagi, just questing as usual, the wandering rabbit bodyguard. Sakai's style. Look at the style of the line work. It's all very thin, very controlled, and then there's contrasts with other brushwork. They're all like this, and just by seeing these covers, they're telling a story. Again, they all have this top element. You can see them all at the top there. A lot of action, intrigue. Look at how Sakai does this darker scene with a lot of cross-hatching. Those are the lines that intersect. And number 7, the last one. Ooh, that guy is totally dead. A lot of fire. That guy's crazy. And again, I love these covers for their consistency, their action, that top element. I just really like it. And then again, the posing, the action. Very cool. Usagi Yojimbo The Hidden. Elvira is back in a new comic book where she's traveling through time and meeting historical horror figures. So I really like the photo covers. Cassandra Peterson must have done a deal with the devil because she has not aged in over, 30 years? Going on 40 years of being Elvira? Amazing. So this is sort of reminiscent of like the EC comics, the EC horror comics. This is over for Dynamite instead of EC, and 399 cents, hilarious. So photo cover, I got number 1 and 3 to show you as photo covers. I love that. That guy's been waiting in line to see that movie for a long time. I wanted to get issue number 2, but for whatever reason the comic shop had it for $30. I got these 2 for regular price, and so the variant cover photo covers make the list. And the other cover, the Michael Linsner covers, are also really cool. I like his style. It's cartoony, it's cute, it's sexy, and the caricature of the character works really well too. But I'm going to pick the photo variant cover as my favorite of this series. And then I've got a ton of DC comic examples over here. These full-page ones, just like the Teen Titans that I showed, but just from a variety of other titles. Here's Detective 989 with like Batman and his Batwing schematic. I love that. The underlighting, the dynamic pose that he's got. I kind of would have liked his other eye not showing and just to be black like that on both sides. And then the Batwing and the schematic, cool. We've got him coming at you through the darkness with a variety of bats. This is at 985. And again, just a dynamic action pose, full page, really epic. This one, they don't do enough sideways covers because you can't really display them at the comic shops very well. But here's Green Lantern 51, a couple of lanterns fighting it out in space with a bunch of power floating all over the place. Love that, and all of the green. Then we've got this motif. This is a Jenny Frison, I believe. These Wonder Woman covers were also really good. Just a great pose here. This is like a classic Roman statue style, or Greek statue, befitting of a goddess. Then there's like this motif of DC Comics with just stark black and white. Here's Batman Beyond 24. Just beautiful stark black, white, and red. Really catches your eye. Something similar for Batwoman 18. Just stark colors. This is by Cho, I believe. And just stark colors, black, white, and red. That's it. But a completely different composition. And then this one of Batman Kings of Fear, similar to that, monochromatic. This is just completely black and white. The bats, the moon, Batman's cape being mimicked by the bats. Cool. And lastly, I picked these two Looney Tunes mashup covers. The Joker and Daffy Duck #1, and Catwoman and Sylvester and Tweety #1. So all of these like styles of DC Comics full page covers I really like, and then they have like these sub styles, the Looney Tunes, the monochromatic ones, and then the big ol' full page dynamic ones. A lot to pick from. Moving over to something more horrible, and I mean that in a good way, Vampironica. These covers have been amazing. Greg Smallwood has created these haunting, beautiful, horrible covers. Veronica from the Archie universe is a vampire, and she's turning everyone to her evil ends. So beautiful rim lighting in red around these characters that are monochromatic purple. You never see that, and this looks just beautiful. Then we've got #4. This is by Fiona Staples. A different style than the previous one, but again, this is like a Frazetta style beauty. Vampironica is just like rocking these beautiful purple tones and black in the green background with green highlights in her hair. Her sublime expression. This is just beautiful. And the latest one is issue 5, her coming out of the darkness, mouth covered in blood. This is just amazing. And if I'm getting to this part of the list and I'm gushing over these covers, what will the higher numbers be? I don't even know. You'll just have to keep watching to see. Oh, Spider-Gwen. So the volume 2 of Spider-Gwen ended its run in 2018, so I'm picking a few covers from 2018. Again, these Robbie Rodriguez covers, Rico Renzi colors, just beautiful. I love these covers. This is during the Gwenom storyline, #27. Just this action, her design. I love that Venom symbiote style to her outfit, #27. #28, Matt Murdock is a real big jerk in Earth 65, this Gwen's dimension. Then we've got this epic confrontation between Murdock and Gwenom. Again, this black, her powerful pose. This is probably reminiscent of some other classic comic. Off the top of my head, don't quite remember it. #30, Spider-Gwen versus Gwenom, who will win? Then we're returning to an interesting plotline as the series winds down. So we've got Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy, the life and times of Gwen Stacy plot. Again, the series kind of ended really interestingly, kind of downbeat for me. She basically goes on trial, and not so good results. And then the final issue, reminiscent of her very first appearance, I love that. from Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, 2014, I guess. Final issue, paying homage to what started it all. And then a brand new Spider-Gwen series coming up. I love this full page, absolutely like full virgin art cover. So these publishers are always trying to one-up themselves about how big and splashy can they get, and I love it. I've only got one example to show you here, but I think you'll agree this is an amazing cover. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. They did a series of comic characters in the real world covers. So I picked this very highly because you don't see this. And cool covers are just not like super realistic style. Cool covers are cool concepts, like having a fictional character in the real world. So I wish I had more examples to show you, but go check them out yourself. Comics.org. You can look up all of the comic covers there. This is just really cool. I'm not really reading the book, but every time I see their covers, they stand out to me, and I wanted to put them on the list. Next up, Star Wars Adventures, Tales from Vader's Castle. All of these, this is a 5-issue limited series, and all of these had a great motif. It's basically a Star Wars ghost story, and all of the regular covers are by Francesco Francavilla, and his style is so cool, so unique to him, and they all have, again, the graphic designer in me, they all have a style. They've got the Vader shape with stuff happening inside of it, and they've all got Francavilla's style. These sort of like sickly tones, and this is actually the Robert Hack cover, so I cheated there, but a similar kind of style. You can see all of them back here actually, so these were published in October for Halloween. These are just great, weird, scary covers. I have that one somewhere in my pile, but I couldn't quite find it for the video. Yeah, these are all really good Francesco Francavilla covers for a scary Star Wars story. And lastly, my favorite covers of all of 2018, the Bill Sienkiewicz Walking Dead variants. These are the top of the top. These are an interpretation of these characters in a completely different way, in the great Bill Sienkiewicz's style. These are just beautiful portraits of the main characters for every issue starting at 175. Here's Rick. Michonne looks exactly like the actress on the show and the character in the comics. That doesn't quite look like the actor on the show, but he's looking like the character on the comic, which is even better. And again, Michonne here, Sienkiewicz's style of this realism and the detail and the abstractness is just amazing. We have the Governor, looking like his original comic counterpart. All of these are focused more on the comics than in real life, but this one with the green and yellow tones and his expression, and again, just this like scratchy font for each character superimposed on top. Amazing. We have Andrea. She had a completely different storyline in the comics, so why is she all scarred up? Read the comics. Just beautiful, stark, ghostly white background and her expression. Carl! Look at this. This, I think, looks like the actor in real life, but still is focused on the comic. And now we're getting into going from like very dark backgrounds to very light backgrounds. Great detail, very abstract, grotesque, yet beautiful. Then Alpha. If you're only watching the TV show, this doesn't mean too much to you. But here we have Alpha, and this is just another just grotesque, amazing cover. Then we go over to Glenn. R.I.P. We miss you. And to the darkness, the dark backgrounds, splattered effects, details, these expressions. I guess from the characters that are dead, they have a sort of different sublime experience. And we have Maggie. Okay, I really think this definitely looks like the actress. And I sort of think this is the weakest of the bunch, just because these, like, islands of color, I'm not loving them like the other ones where everything flows more, but still just really interesting. This cover stands out anywhere you put it and you gravitate toward it because it's just great. And we have Ezekiel. This is amazing. Who would have thought to do his dreadlocks in a negative color, white instead of black, and his expression with these just like little gradations of color, solid color spots to give depth, and just so minimal. And then the black background and his name. This is the only one also with the color of the font not being white. And we've got Princess. Who is Princess? Well, that means you're only watching the TV show, so get into the comics. And the newest character, and just, this is hilarious. I like how it kind of, she just completely has filled the screen or the comic cover completely compared to everyone else, because her over-the-top, larger-than-life personality in the comics necessitates it. And then her goggles. And lastly, as of this video, we have Jesus. This looks exactly like the actor, but the actor looks exactly like the character from the comic. And another really close-up kind of shot, and very pensive. The detail in his little hoodie thing, you can see all of the texture there too. So if we're doing actual top numbers, this is number 1. The Walking Dead Bill Sienkiewicz variant covers. Well, there you go, everyone. There's a lot of comic covers to choose from. They're not going to fit on screen. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You probably disagree, but hopefully you also agree a little bit here and there. And I'd love to hear what your particular concepts were for the top covers. There's just so many to choose from year after year. Hopefully you're picking covers that are interesting, that you have not seen before, that are graphically interesting, that just stand out. If you liked this video, don't forget to head on over to patreon.com/vmcampos. Think about getting in on the rewards. Starting at $1, you get a lot of great stuff, but you'll also get a lot of free stuff just for visiting. Please thumbs up, give me a comment, subscribe. This has been VM Campos. See you in the Spider-Verse.